allowed. So okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so guys, so let me just reiterate whatever I have explained till now. DevOps, it's a combination of dev plus ops. Dev means developers and testers combined, and in ops there are primarily system admins, but it includes Windows, Linux, network teams as well. So DevOps is not a tool or anything like that. That this is just one tool and you learn it and it's done. It's a methodology or strategy. It bridges the gap between dev team and ops team. As of now, I had explained that the dev team and ops team. So earlier, what used to happen was that developers were doing their job in isolation in silos. They were not linked with anyone. They did not care what the uh, operations team is doing, and operations team was doing the same. So there was a blame game going on if anything goes wrong. Dev team was saying that there is an issue with ops team, and ops team was saying that there is an issue with the dev team and their code. So then came DevOps. So it came to bridge the gap between the dev team and the ops team. So uh, because you can understand that there are two different teams, and this guy from testing also. So you can understand that dev team, they are more focused toward agility. They want, if they want a new server, they would just say to the operations team that we need one server and give it ASAP. But operations team, they have to follow some steps. They have to ensure that the server is stable, it won't crash again and again, and they have to install the required software. So it was taking time. So there was a gap between them. So now DevOps team came, and it was like for balancing everything, and they were coordinating with the dev team, so they were knowing some understanding what they if there were small issues, they would fixing it for them in codes also, and in the operations they were handling the operations, all the operations. So in a gist, what I would say is that DevOps is mainly the ops guys who are doing the help of the dev team. All right. So let me take you to some time back. What was earlier happening? There was SDLC model, software development life cycle, and it was actually very slow. And you understand the waterfall means like water is falling down, so it cannot go up. So I'm just explaining it to understand you that in the waterfall model, if there is one thing is faulty, then they have to start from the sketch from the starting, and then everything needs to be done. So suppose there is a new website opening, and suppose e-commerce site is opening, like there is Flipkart, Amazon, there is similarly a new site is opening. So now if they come to you to build that site, and if you say that we would need 2 3 years to develop it, then would they give that project to you? The chances are very less. No, unless you are a big brand. So what then came was agile. So agile, in agile there were people were like focusing on small bits of uh, data and small bit of code they were writing, and then they were deploying it on the production. So suppose you need a site, uh, a bank site, and if you take 2 3 years to develop the whole site, then it is not generating any revenue. But if you say that in 2 months we will build the loan page of this site, then in 2 months we would build the EMI page. So then the client would agree that yeah, this sounds feasible and it can generate me revenue after 2 months only. It can start generating that revenue. So guys, this was agile, but again, the ops part was not there. It was helpful only for the dev team. So now came DevOps, and it was helpful for both developers and operations team. So guys, in SDLC, what was happening? There were Dev was there, testing was there, deployment was there, monitoring was there. All these things were manual. And then in the agile, there was uh, continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration. These things like dev and testing, these things were automated, but the deployment and monitoring part, that was again manual. So still there was gap. And then in the finally in the DevOps, everything was automated. So guys, let me pause and let me wait for a few seconds and ask from you guys, anyone, if you have any doubt as of now, because like I understand uh, someone is not from IT background and also and someone is not exposure to the development life cycle, but still if you can let me know anything that I have not made clear as of now, whatever I had explained. You can unmute yourself also. I hope everyone was hearing it, what I was explaining.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can go forward.
All right, Abhishek, you too. You can understand it. Whatever. Like I will explain all these things in a long way. But right now, I'm just giving you a gist as why DevOps evolved and what is the use and what we will be understanding in the course. So some things may go above your head, but don't worry. We will be explaining everything in detail. Like there would be like 1 to 2 hour session just for explaining whatever I'm explaining right now in this 30 minutes. Okay, so don't worry. So mm let me share my screen also. And so Aisha, could you please enable my screen sharing? I've requested for that, but the screen sharing is.
Yeah, hello sir. I will sharing.
Have you allowed the sharing, Aisha?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
But I
I
can.
didn't get.
I'm still not able to share the screen. So like because
Like
I
I didn't
don't.
get any.
Okay, you didn't get any because I don't want things to be monotonous. I want you to understand
Yeah,
any. Will explain everything on the screen sharing session later. Uh, I think it's uh, giving any. You have shared your screen, Aisha. Aisha, can you hear me? Okay, so guys, no, Aisha, your screen is getting shared. Let's leave it. Let me explain it to you over this call only. Aisha, could you please stop screen sharing?
yeah, sir.
So leave it as it is, and I'm explaining to you. But understand that from the start of your course, I will be taking the screen sharings only, and I will explaining everything to you over the like notepad and like paint, explaining everything to you there, and we will discuss over PPTs also. So right now this is a demo. We will sort things out more. So let me explain you what happens in the software lifecycle or our deployment. Aisha, I'm seeing your screen again. Yes, I have the option now. So guys, can you see my screen now? Could you please confirm?
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. So So let me explain to you what exactly happens. So guys, look, pardon my drawing, whatever I have drawn. Just understand the concept. That look, whenever you have to whether you are from an IT background or not, you have to understand what happens in the software life cycle, so that you can relate to it, and then you can know where DevOps is involved. So I guess Ankit, you would be knowing everything, but no, Ankit, Sheikh, you would be knowing the things, but still, let me explain it to others. So this is VCS. This is version control system. So version means when you download any app from the Play Store, Google Play Store, or app uh, this Apple Store, you can see there is a version assigned to that app, like 1.1.1, 4.3.2, like this. So who is maintaining those versions? These versions are being maintained by the version control tool. Because like suppose you would have also seen that when you update your app sometime, it crashes more frequently. So this is due to the fact that there was some code that was pushed, which was uh, causing fault in the application, and it is causing it to stop. So if you don't know who had committed what, then it would be very messy to understand that uh, what is happening. So in this case, version control system comes, and it helps in like understanding that uh, who committed what thing, so that if there is any requirement of rollback, it can be done. So once that, so initially there is this dev guy. So developer is writing the code. He is pushing, whenever he makes any change to the code, it should get pushed to the version control system, which we would study. Git would be there, which is the leading version control system right now. So once it goes to Git, then the code is built. Build means like we would be using Jenkins here for building, because like suppose there is a code of like multiple text files, and this, or there are different JPG files, and this different things are there in that change. But uh, you cannot directly push that onto the server. You have to make it in a buildable format, like an artifact, and then you can push it on any server for the like deployment. So once it is sent to the build, Jenkins picks it up and then it makes it into an artifact. So understand artifact as a ball which contains all the data that needs to be deployed. Then it is deployed onto the testing environment where testers do the testing and they ensure that everything is fine. If something is not fine, then they tell it to the developers and they make the required changes, and then it is again pushed to the version control. Then this is pushed to the build by Jenkins, and then it goes to the testing again. So once testing team confirms that everything is fine, then they push it to the U8 environment. It is user acceptance testing, or you can say it as pre-prod. So prod means live. If any site is live, it is a production environment. But before that, just before that, there is a U8 environment where you can see that this site is uh, how it will look for the end users. All right, so this is the normal way how it happens. So where does the DevOps come into picture? So first of all, DevOps is for automation. So whenever the developer is writing any code, it should automatically just get pushed to the version control system without any manual intervention. And this is continuous integration between developer and version control. After that, it should automatically get pushed to the Jenkins. Then from the Jenkins, it should go automatic once uh, Jenkins should, there are multiple plugins there in Jenkins. Like you would know, plugins are there in a lot of apps are there, plugins, extra features are there. So in that feature, you can do the testing also, and you can add the JUnit or those sort of testings there so that it runs the testing automatically, and then it should push the code to the once everything goes well, once there is go ahead, then it should get deployed to the pre-production and finally to the production. So ideally there should be no manual intervention. So there are two things: continuous delivery and continuous deployment. In the delivery, there is a manual intervention. At the time of pushing to production, there is an approval required, but in case of continuous deployment, no approval is required. Don't worry, all these things we will cover uh, in the actual class. So this is the role model of DevOps and how everything is happening. So if I would tell you that how we would be breaking the course, so normally in the starting 2-3 weeks we would be understanding this Git and Jenkins. Okay, after that we would be uh, learning about Ansible for 2 weeks or so. And Ansible is a product by Red Hat which is used for automation. So suppose there are 1,000 servers and you want to deploy on those 1,000 servers. So would you go manually and just deploy? Deploy means copying that file. So if you would copy one file onto the 1,000 servers once and again, then it is of no help. So in that case, Ansible will help so that you can deploy something on lot of servers and you can do automation there. So this is the heart of this course, that how to automate things. After that, we would understand Docker, because you guys would have used VMware in your college or earlier. So it was using virtualization technology where on the same computer we were hosting 2 3 or multiple uh, operating systems on that one machine. So that technology is used in cloud also. If you would have heard the name of Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure. So that technology is used in cloud, but after cloud came a technology containerization, which is used in Docker. So suppose you have to create one machine or one server. So if you are doing it from scratch, it would take 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours for creating a new machine in VMware. But in Docker, it happens in a just in a blink of an eye. It happens in 2 seconds or so. So that we will study. We will spend 2-3 weeks on Docker, and we would understand about Kubernetes also. So after that, this is coming uh, testing is done, then UAT, and then production. So deployment on production is done using Ansible also, and then in Docker we will understand that how we can create an environment which mimics the production environment, because testing guy, you can understand that uh, many times the developers say that code is working on his local machine but not on the production. So that issue is also resolved in Docker. We will understand how it is. So these are the core topics. Later on we will understand how to monitor something, because it's, if you have, suppose you have created one site, okay, www.abc.com, but and sometimes the site goes down, maybe due to the server issue or any issue, the site goes down and you are not aware of it, you are just uh, ignorant of that fact. So but your customers are facing loss. So there should be some monitoring also, where you can understand that uh, why this site is not working, and you should get an alert. So that we will understand using Zabbix monitoring tool. So, and finally, we would get an overview of cloud, because cloud is again very important. And I would give you a brief overview about what cloud is, what cloud computing is, what are the different models are there, and I would give you an overview of different AWS services that we would require. And all these tools that we would be using AWS for setting them up, which would be a nice learning curve for you guys also. So I know I have spoken a lot, and I'm not sure how much you guys would have understood. But uh, let me take some time and understand from you guys that how much you have understood, and if you guys have any query, if you guys want to understand that what are the, if you have any queries, you can ask me right now. I'm there to answer your queries. I know it's been long. Uh, it should have started at 8 o'clock, but that's fine. It's better late than never. So, any queries that you guys have, or anything that you want to discuss, anything you want to know from me, anything that you want to suggest that they should be there, they should not be there. I can, like, I'm very interactive. I can understand if there is, if most of you would say that this thing is more important, because the tools and technologies that I'm explaining, these are the latest things and the best things that are right now. So anything is in your mind, so please feel free, because I feel that no question is stupid question. Everybody has different thinking and they think in different terms. So shoot any question that you have in mind, whatever you have in mind. Abhishek, Ankit, Sheikh, you guys can hear me, right?
Sir, please say display the syllabus about the course.
Sorry, display the,
Course about syllabus, sir. Content of the syllabus.
all right. So uh, you guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
So first we will discuss what is DevOps is there, and the overview of the different tools and how they are interconnected. Then we will understand what is source control management, installing the Git, using it on the command line interface and the graphical user interface. Both ways we will understand. Then we will go with it workflow and different like ways what we can, different things what we can do in Git. Then we will go to the Ansible. We would set it up, understand what all the components are there. Then we will create the playbooks, understand the modules there. Don't worry guys if you don't understand anything right now, because these things are like specific to this only. So We will understand the modules and how you can create one task, then next task in the same playbook. So playbook is like what I would say is that is a file, is a
Collection of tasks.
scripted, yeah, scripting
Collection of
file,
tasks.
yeah, scripting file where you would understand that what all things you would be writing. What if you want to restart a service and then you want to install a package? All those things you can mention in a playbook. So then there would be like little bit like coding basics, like what are the variables are there, conditional loops. These you guys would have read it in the college. It would have been long back, but still I would give you the overview. And then again, Ansible role is how it is actually done in a big environment. So that thing we will understand, that how Ansible is implemented in a big environment where there are like hundreds and thousands of servers. So then we will move to Docker. Uh, we will explain the installation, different terminologies, and then how you can do the networking. And then we will include, I have not included it, but Kubernetes is also a part of this. So there would be a detailed explanation of Kubernetes, kubectl, and installing it on this installing Kubernetes on AWS. All those things we will cover in that. So after that, once we know all the tools, then we would understand the Jenkins and how you can create jobs in Jenkins using pipelines there, and then integrating all the earlier tools into this Jenkins. This we will understand so that we can understand that how these things are interrelated. All right, then we will see the monitoring and understand how to use Zabbix, because I would there are different monitoring tools are there, but Zabbix is open source, so you can learn it easily rather than like spending money on learning something. So it's an open source, it's free. So then I would give you an cloud overview, and we will understand that what are the different deployment models, service models, and how to set up an free account, and then different AWS services. So this is just a rough layout. The things that I would be teaching, it will be much more. So this is just a brief overview. So because everything, writing everything would be too verbose. So I'm just like explaining you that, giving you a brief overview of what I will be teaching and what we will be learning. Okay, Sheikh?
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. And other guys, so Abhishek, so
Yeah,
what about you? So are you comfortable? Are you understanding the bit overview? And look,
uh, no, actually, I'm not understanding at most.
yeah, I totally get your point because you have not been in the industry. So, but look, I would share the extra docs with you, and so that like you can, like, first of
Yeah,
all, you can come to the same pace. I would let you know what all things you should study, and I will do the hand holding also, so that you can like come on terms, and by the end of the course, then all of you would be on the same page. So it's, if your background is in testing, if your background is non-IT, if you are looking for a job and you are a fresher, so all of you would be like on the same pace. Uh, but the requirement is that you should devote time now. And if you devote time, like suppose it may happen that Abhishek, you might take like 4 hours to learn a thing, and Sheikh might take 2 hours to learn a thing, and Ankit might take 3 hours to learn a thing. So I'm saying that you may take different time, so you have to devote more time. And it's not that 1.5 month you would be an expert in DevOps, but you would be able to get the job. That should be the, that is my motto and that is my aim, that you should be able to get a job. Because like if you have like if you are fresher also, then also there are a lot of opportunities in the DevOps. And if you are experienced, if you show like 2 3 years of experience in DevOps, then there is a huge demand for DevOps professional, and it should last maybe like for 1.5 more year. but then slowly there are people are learning this, so slowly it would like the market would become more tougher for you to crack interviews. So right now I think it is the best time to start, because slowly things are getting tougher. So it depends on you. If, because if you are willing to devote time, then I am willing to devote time with you. You can ping me, message me anytime, and what your queries, and if you are facing any issues. So whenever I get time, I'm not saying that I am free on all days. I do have work also. So but what you will be learning here is that you would be learning the real life skills, not some bookish knowledge, because I have implemented DevOps tools in a lot of organizations and I've worked on it firsthand, and I know what issues happen when you are trying to set it up. So in the book or any other place you might see that, yeah, this is the way that it should be configured, but what happens when it doesn't work? That is a very important thing, and that comes with experience. I also didn't knew all those things, but slowly I learned and I made note of them. So that could be helpful to all of you. So there is something for everyone. So don't feel that I don't know this thing, so I would be lagging behind. It's not. Abhishek, I think I am able to make you understand that nothing would be too tough.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And Ankit, what about you? So you do have a like computer science background, so uh, I think you can understand something about software development life cycle and all. Ankit,
Can you?
Ankit, not able to hear you. Hello. Yeah, Ankit, your voice is not audible. Yes. All right, Ankit. Yeah. So it's technical things, these happen. So Sheikh, can you hear me, or Aisha? You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, not sure. Looks like all the Zoom problems had to happen this day only. So, okay, so,
Yes, sir.
okay, thanks, Sheikh, for confirming. So, let me ask Ankit, my screen is shared, so I think he can see and he can chat also. So, let me stop the sharing, and if it is, right. So Ankit doesn't have any query. It looks like might it might have happened that everything would have gone above his head, or he would have understood something. If you can understand like 10-20% of whatever I had explained, because look, the pace is fast right now, uh, because it's a demo session, and when we would be doing the normal session, when we would be starting the course, at that time the pace would be adjustable as per your convenience. So I will not be teaching like a rocket, but I would also try to be on the like normal pace so that people who understand things, so they also don't get bored. So we would maintain a sequence of like agility as well as the understanding. So Aisha, I think that should be it. If still anyone has any doubt, they can share it with me. I would be more than happy to help, and you can ask Aisha also if you have any doubts. Then she can pass it on to me, and I can.
Yeah, if you have any doubts, you can text me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Aisha.
Yeah. Can we end the session now?
Yeah, it's good from my end. I've done everything.